Basically, we have what's called the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It's a CFL team. My grandpa, he's lived in Hamilton for a while, and as I grew up, he made me kind of a Tiger Cats fan, and so we watch what's called the CFL, and we also have the Hamilton Bulldogs, which were an AHL team, which is the NHL's affiliate. So we grew up watching them. As you're growing up, the ponds freeze over, and you get out on the ice. But I think in Wisconsin, I think we're a little more northern in Wisconsin than I am in Hamilton, and so it's cold here. Yeah. It's a different kind of cold.
This is a
I'll say playing guys before I came here, it's definitely something that helped. The level I was playing was really good in Quebec, so I came here and I had a lot of things to change, but it was mostly to slow down. So that was something that was hard, just making sure I was not over moving or just making sure that I was at the right place at the right moment. I just needed to stay there and wait for the puck to come at me. I'll say my first start as a freshman, I got a shutout, so that was pretty nice. But I remember Minnesota Duluth, we were up there, Alex started the game and she got injured halfway through, and I was not feeling great that day. I was just in my own mind and I was just thinking about home and all this, and Alex got injured and I was like, oh, here you go. The score was 0-0 against Duluth, which is a pretty good program, and we ended up winning 1-0. So I was like, whew, that was funny, did not expect it, but that's definitely something that I'll remember. It was above 500 and it was the NCAA record for both men and women.
Did you feel big sigh? Did you feel pressure to keep that up as it was going, or is it something you enjoy now?
Yeah, at first it's not something that I thought about. You just get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as we got closer from the NCAA record, I was actually held by the old UW Badger, Jesse Vadders, and I'll be honest, when we got really close to it, a couple minutes away, people kept bringing up to me hey, you need that minute, and I was like, okay, this needs to stop. So then we finally made it past, so then I was like, actually, that's good, we got it, now it's done. And then we got scored, I think, a game and a half later, and I was like, well, we need to get scored at 1 point, so it's nice to be able to get done with it. But now you look back and it's definitely something that was impressive.
Absolutely.
I think for us it's kind of our compete level. We have a long-standing tradition of excellence here, and we have a lot of great players that have played before us. Yeah. And so just to kind of live up to what they've kind of been doing throughout their careers here, I think has been very important to us. And we come out every day, every practice, every game, and we have to have a high compete level in order to be successful. We've obviously had a lot of success this season, and so sticking to our game plan, not really worrying about what the other teams are doing, who are playing, just sticking to our game plan.
Slow you down a little.
Yeah, I think we played North Dakota just before Christmas and then just after Christmas, and their defense is just, they pack it in, they block shots, and our game is we try to get as much shots as we can, and when teams pack it in, it's definitely very frustrating, but glad we solved them last weekend.
Yeah.
It's try to improve, try to get a little bit better. We talked about that, in September when we started, and the group has done a good job of that. And now you come to crunch time, and you've created these habits, and now you just have to continue to pay attention to those little details, because this time of year where things tighten up, not only on the scoreboard within each game, those little things really can make a difference of you being successful or you not being successful. So you work on those things, and then you manage time. Players have been through a long season. They've played 30 games. They've traveled. They've done school, and so it's managing time, and sometimes less is more. And so we as coaches have to try to push those buttons that make sure that when the games are on, they're at a real high level and they're energized and they're excited to play.